Hello, everyone, and welcome to Edison TV. We have the pleasure of being joined again today by Sten Sörensen, the CEO of Cereno Scientific, a company harnessing the properties of HDAC inhibition to develop disease-modifying treatments for rare diseases. Thank you, Sten, again for talking to us.
Pleasure to be here.
So to kick off, Sten, you just released your Q3 2025 report. How would you summarize the third quarter and the period to date for Cereno?
Well, I think we've had a tremendous quarter and up to now with the latest news on financing. And moved the needle on our major objectives for the company. So we have moved on our regulatory processes with fast track designation for our lead program CS1 obtained by FDA, and we've submitted that to the FDA for acceptance of our Phase IIb protocol. We have moved our clinical programs forward, communicated our Phase I data for our second HDAC program, CS014, in July. And we have signed up a CRO to run our Phase IIb trial. So that's an operative capacity. And then, of course, we have reached this financing solution, which we're very happy with. I should say, in addition, that we have gained 25% more shareholders. We have peaked over 3 billion for the first time for the company in market cap. And we've also gained a notification as shortlisted as a European finalist for European Company Award in July, I think it was. And the latest, I got personally recognition for the work with Cereno as a CEO of the Year finalist in Europe. So recognition is increasing for the company. I should also say that we have moved our closer to the various companies in relation to partnership discussions. So that's part of our strategy.
Indeed, a very active period for the company. And you mentioned the major financing package, which has been announced today, 450 million Swedish krona in a combination of loan financing and a directed issue. What does this mean for Cereno and its shareholders?
Well, I think it shows a strong commitment from our leading shareholders in the company and some new investors coming in, and a confidence in both our scientific platform, our potential to impact lives in rare diseases such as pulmonary arterial hypertension and lung fibrosis. And it shows also confidence in the growth of the company moving forward and wanting to be on that journey. I think it also signals the willingness to do this on a premium pricing, which is very rare in this market, which has been quite difficult for many biotech companies. So, yeah, I think this means that we can move ahead with our programs and initiate our Phase IIb trial globally when that's approved. We can move our second program towards completion for eventually acceptance of that Phase IIb program in idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, and move our third program forward, CS585. So, yeah, very good.
Right. And we all know that the funding environment around biotechs is quite challenging at this moment. So the size of this financing in this environment is quite impressive. And you touched upon this, but what do the financing terms and the level of participation say about investor confidence in Cereno's strategy?
Yeah, I think, we have a directed issue of 100 million. We have a refinancing of our debt and an expansion of that. And altogether, the whole package is 650 million if fully exercised on the convertible side and on the warrants included. So, of course, that's a big package, and that is done on a premium pricing for the directed issue. I think it shows a lot of confidence. And I think Cereno stands out, being a retail-based invested company since 2016 when we listed the company. And we have a combination, moved the company forward lately in a combination of equity and debt financing. And I think that's a very strategic financial solution for this day and age in our sector. And we have previously had this debt financing, and it's moved us past several major milestones and in growing our market cap without any significant or major dilution of the shareholders' own value in the company and the stock. So I think, it's a good solution, and it shows confidence from our shareholder base, I think.
Excellent. So this leads us to our next questions. How will this financing strengthen your ability to execute the Phase IIb trial for CS1 and other upcoming milestones?
Well, the financing means that we can go full force ahead and execute our Phase IIb program. And we actually have financing fully exercised to the end of 27. And we have 3 programs in development, and we can pursue them all. So that's very good for us, I think.
Great. And the CS1 Phase IIb trial is expected to commence before summer 2026. What makes the upcoming global trial so important for the company and for patients?
Well, I think we are, pioneering this effort with epigenetic modulation through HDAC inhibition, and we have 2 programs. And the first program, CS1, we saw very intriguing data in our Phase IIa trial, which we communicated earlier. And the reason this is intriguing is that we believe that this mode of action, which has not been pursued in these diseases before, in PH in this case, has the potential to have a disease-modifying capacity. What does that mean? It means that these patients' pulmonary artery grows more narrow and more stiff over time, and eventually the right heart fails to do its work and pump blood to the lungs and oxygenate. So the right heart fails, and that's why you die. And we believe that our drug will be able to slow down, halt, and even reverse this process. And that has been seen in animal work, which has been published, and we saw intriguing information from our Phase IIa trial. So now this Phase IIb trial is a global trial, and we will be able to now evaluate safety and tolerability, which we had flying colors in our 2a trial in patients, but also test the 2 dosages and the efficacy of this capacity in these patients. And we will look at disease-modifying capacity, and we will look at the quality of life and function of the heart. So it's a very important trial. It will be global, and we will be able now to run this trial in these patients.
That's great, and look forward to the initiation of this trial. We also see that you have been active at several major partnering and scientific conferences this year. What kind of interest are you seeing from potential partners?
I think, we are seeing interest in the company in general. So I mentioned before the award ceremonies and then shortlisting to finalists in Europe. And that's one side of it. We have several banks and other players in the financial community leaning forward, wanting to work with the company. And I think that's the same when it comes to partnering. We have more and more discussions with potential partners, both local, regional, and global partners. And when we talk about partners, it's generally pharmaceutical players, and who might then do a deal with us and bring this one or several of our drugs to the market. So we get more attention. I think the reason for this is that we are pioneering, and that's the name of the game in pharmaceutical development nowadays. You need to move new science of value to the patients in need, and that's what we are doing, and that's our vision with Cereno.
Excellent. And you have established a new advisory relationship with Stifel. Can you comment on the timing and why now?
Yeah, so I mentioned before that, we have grown in shareholder base and in market cap, and and visibility, and that also includes financial advisors such as Stifel. So, and we are very pleased that they leaned forward and wanted to work with us, and they have been active in this financial solution as an advisor on the debt side, and they will be working with us as a strategic growth advisor in the financial arena as we move forward, and potentially also involved in our M&A activities. We'll see.
And just to wrap up, Sten, what would you like the shareholders to understand about where Cereno is heading?
Yeah, I think a lot of them understands a lot because there is a live Discord of almost 5,000 of our 13,000 shareholders discussing Cereno every day intensely, both the science, our commercial potential, and other aspects of what we're doing. So, but for those who don't know, we are now financed to move fully ahead with our programs. We submitted our regulatory file for FDA in November 7th, and they have 30 days to accept or ask questions. So they should be looking for an acceptance from FDA and later from Europe eventually, and then recruitment of our first patient before the summer. So that's a major step for us. There's also a couple of evaluations ongoing on CS1, extended access program, as well as X-ray evaluation of structure in that program that will be coming out in the first half of the year. So that's going to be exciting to look at what we find in that. And of course, we are pursuing then CS014 for completion of protocols, design, etc., to move that into phase II in the rare lung disease, IPF for PH-ILD. So yeah, and of course to listen or see our activity around the partnering events and other communication activities with the company about what we do.
Thank you, Sten, for sharing your thoughts on the recent developments with Cereno and your plans forward. For our audience wanting to learn more about Cereno Scientific, please refer to edisongroup.com. Thank you again, Sten.
Thank you. Pleasure.